Hello, viewers. My name is Ubed. Welcome to my podcast, Victory Spectrum LinkedIn Live Session. Today, we have a wonderful guest all the way from Dallas, United States. His name is Craig Fisher. He's the author of Hiring Humans and Paint Your Store, two essential guides for modern job seekers and recruiters alike. He is the founder of TalentNet Media and the creator of TalentNet Live, one of the longest running recruiting conferences in the United States. Craig has led employer brand and recruiting strategy initiatives at companies like Allegis Global Solutions, Davita, Toyota, and served as the Chief Marketing Officer of HR tech startup Connect. Known for blending marketing, recruiting, and technology, he has helped people and organizations tell better stories to attract talent and the opportunities. Welcome, Craig, sir. How are you today?
Obaid, good to see you. Thanks for having me. I'm good.
It's my honor to have you on my podcast, sir. Sir, you've written a book, Paint Your Store, which challenges the traditional job hunting strategies and the approaches. So, can you please elaborate and share some thoughts how to transform the mindset of the traditional job hunt strategy?
Absolutely. So I think everybody who's applied for jobs recently bumps up against the same issue, right? You apply to a job through an applicant tracking system or through Indeed or LinkedIn or someplace like that, and
Yeah.
nothing happens, right? It's not necessarily ghosting. It's just there's a
You
lot of
just keep
applicants.
on applying, you just keep on applying. That's
That's
it.
right. Yeah. Lots of applicants. And so you're not really building a way for the employer to see you in a different light just by repeating the process of submitting, a digital resume, PDF, or whatever you're doing on that application. So Paint Your Store suggests that you start building an online brand for yourself, right? You might
Okay.
have a website. You certainly have a LinkedIn profile. You might have Meta or WhatsApp or Slack or any other multiple channels where employers might be able to see some of your activity. And you start to paint yourself as a subject matter expert in that skill that you want to be known for. So you
Okay.
post regularly about some, let's say, research that you've done about the companies you'd like to work for, and then
Okay.
create a video about it and talk about it. So I did some research on Toyota versus Ford Motor Company, and it turns out that their
Okay.
recruitment processes are drastically different. One takes
Okay.
45 minutes to apply to a job, one takes 15 minutes to
Very
apply to a
long.
job, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
and then I post this online, and I do this on a regular basis, and I tag the people who I want to do that work for when I make the posts,
Okay.
and they can see
For example,
me.
I'm an HR professional. I need to tag their HR professionals, their HR team. Am I right, sir?
That's right. Yes, you want to tag their recruiters, their hiring managers, their COO, CIO, CEO if you want to. Anyone you can get connected to that you can then tag. You don't even have to be connected in very many respects to tag people. And certainly you can tag a company, which will get you on the radar of their marketing team. So I say, on a regular basis, be in the peripheral vision of those you want to do the work for.
Oh, excellent. Sir, what are the three major steps job seekers should take to begin this process of creating a standout presence on the online or the social media?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to know yourself. You have to focus what you're looking for in your job. It's got to be very specific. So if you're trying to paint with a broad brush and be anything to anyone, you're not going to have any success. So pick a niche, very specifically pick a niche. Then select a few employers to focus on. Start with 3 or 5 and start connecting with the people at those organizations who you'd like to do that work for, right? Anyone who could possibly help you or refer you in, connect to the people at those organizations, right? And then start doing some research on those organizations and maybe some competitive research between the 3 or 5 that you're wanting to do the work for, and document
Okay.
everything, right? And do some analysis.
Excellent.
Yes. And
Okay.
then post it on the internet, right? Make sure that you can put it in a place where people will see it and talk about it, have an opinion. Don't be overly controversial, but show some
Okay.
things that the employer might say, it'd be really great to get Craig to come do that for us.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how can candidate ensure their personal brand resonates with the potential employer's culture and values, sir? For
So,
example, I am a recruiting consultant. I want to apply, say, assume Nestle. So, how do I resonate my personality with the Nestle's culture and the values?
so first of all, Nestle specifically has a very good newsletter, which will email you with new jobs on a regular basis, right? So make sure that you're on their talent brand list where they'll send you those jobs and just start to get to know the tone of those emails and the types of jobs. And then you want to do some research about the organization, right? What are their core values? What do their culture videos say? Are there a day in the life interviews with people in the HR department? And just start to understand, what kind of organization are they? And so make sure that you're showing yourself in a light that meshes with that culture and with that style, and use chat gpt, right, or any other large language models to say, tell me about the culture of this organization and how do I fit from what you know about me, because if you've been using any of these language models for any time, they know you, right, they understand who you are.
Absolutely. Okay. Many job seekers focus on majority task rather than the impact. And we'll see in lot of LinkedIn profiles, they copy paste their responsibilities instead of highlighting the achievements.
Mhm.
So, what are the some common pitfalls in this regard, and how can candidates and job seekers shift their mindset to highlight their accomplishments and contributions effectively, sir?
Yeah, so this is sort of the difference in keyword stuffing, right, versus uh, action, show, and tell. So you do want to, in the description of your experience, talk about the impact you had. So, for instance, I identified a big glitch in the applicant tracking system that was causing a $250,000 a year overspend on job advertising,
Oh,
right?
that's huge.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the type of thing that stands out. If you can showcase something like that, real numbers, real percentages with real documented numbers attached to it, that's very important. And then at the bottom of your experience, you'll see on my LinkedIn profile, I just put a paragraph with keywords. So if you want to get all those keywords in there, just put a paragraph at the end of each experience, Craig Fisher, locations, keywords, skills, things I want to be associated with, and that'll get you coming up high in search results.
Okay, okay. Sir, in your opinion, what are the most important segments or the portions of a candidate LinkedIn profile that a candidate should focus on that particular in polishing at that particular area, especially the
So
LinkedIn profile?
yeah, in the LinkedIn profile, your photo and your headline are the two most important things. And here's why. When you post something or comment on somebody else's post, what people are going to see is your photo and that bit of your headline, location, and your first job, right? So those things that show up in the blurb next to you when you comment on somebody's posts or repost something, or right, any of those, um, that's the most important part, because that's as far as a lot of people will go. And if that's intriguing enough, they might go ahead and click through to your profile to read some more.
How we to conduct to conduct our job search campaign into a marketing campaign, how to market ourselves as a product, as a
Right.
commodity.
So to do proper marketing, right, you have to first understand yourself, like we discussed in the earlier question, right? Who are you? What are you focusing on? What are some things about you that are very interesting that aren't just work, right? Do you have some personal things, hobbies or family or whatever, that you're okay with showing to the outside world? I recommend everyone has three things that's kind of your
Okay.
personal hook, right? And then you have to understand your audience. So who are you talking to? If you're going to advertise, if you're going to start posting to try to attract eyeballs to you, you have to understand who your audience is. So you have to do thorough research on your target prospects, right? These are the employers. And then you have to have content. So if you're making content already by researching the companies you're interested in, posting some bits and pieces about that research, you want to give 5 times for every one ask, right? So 5 helpful, interesting, or entertaining things for every one time you say, hey, please refer me, or, I'm looking for work. So it's kind of the 80-20 principle. It's a magic number. It works very well. And then, boost your posts. So you can boost a post. You can spend a little tiny bit of money and boost a post that you make. And you can target people at specific organizations. It's wildly magic and it works really good.
Okay. Okay. Sir, what are the some key marketing tactics you want to highlight, like hooks, calls to action, audience targeted, that candidates to adapt to enhance their personal brand in an effective way, sir?
So people want to hear your voice, right? They want to hear the way you think. They want to work with people that they also feel like they would get along with and learn from. So on a fairly regular basis, and I'm talking at least once a week, you want to be talking to the camera. So whether it's like you and I speaking here and we break that up into some short videos, but it's your face and you talking to the camera that really matters to people. And make sure that you are including a transcript or right some text on your video, because a lot of video is watched without the sound, right? And so obviously also be speaking in the language of the company that you want to work for or in the region that you want to work for. And then finally, write an interesting description about that and have your opinions in that description. Don't just use the transcript. So tell people something they might not know. What is interesting about what you're thinking? Have you come up with a new and interesting twist or point of view that makes this worth reading?
Okay. So, second last question, sir. How to incorporate design thinking concepts into our job search strategy
So
for a
I,
new job seeker, job candidate, or to, of any level, entry, middle, or senior one?
yeah. So I really like the empathy map. Okay. An empathy map is how you envision the person that you're trying to speak to through an advertisement, a job application, or whatever. Imagine the person on the other end. Who are they? How old are they? What kind of person are they? Do they live with their parents? Are they new? Are they fresh out of school? Are they seasoned? Is it a hiring manager? Imagine the person you're talking to. What do they see and think and feel during the regular workday? Are they trying to plow through 10,000 resumes, or is yours the only one they're going to look at that day? Right? I mean, that'd be great. But the odds are they're just scanning, right? They're barely seeing your resume. So who are you going to talk to? You want important, impactful stuff at the top of your resume and application. And it'd be great if you were in their peripheral vision 4 or 5 times before they ever saw your application or your resume, right? So you want to have tagged them and gotten, sort of your face
Okay.
in their
So,
screen. Yeah, that's design thinking.
yeah. So, Craig, sir, I have posted relevant content regarding my target companies on LinkedIn, tag the relevant people on that my particular post, make the relationship. Final question: how to generate the interview calls, sir? The final nail on the coffin.
Right. So it doesn't hurt to reach out and ask, right? So if you're really trying to get an interview and you've done all these right things, you've built a case for yourself as a subject matter expert in that niche for that specific organization, and you've kind of gotten in front of the eyeballs of the people who might make the decision to interview you, reach out and say, hey, I'm very interested in talking to you about this. I've done this research. I hope you've seen it. Would there be time for a quick call? Because I'd love to discuss it with you. And don't pose it as an interview. Just pose it as I'm interested in this. I'm interested in your organization. I'd love to hear from you specifically on your thoughts about what I'm doing here. And could we talk?
Craig, sir, it's a wonderful learning experience having you on my LinkedIn podcast. It's a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much, viewers. I hope you've also learned a lot from the new and different ideas and hopefully will change your mindset and definitely refine your job hunt campaign. Stay tuned for the more episodes. Craig, sir, pleasure talking to you.
Thanks,
Wonderful
Obed.
session. Loved every minute of it. Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.